Hey. G'day everyone. Hey, welcome back to another Toolbox TechTalk. Yeah, it's Sunday and it's 1 o'clock here at the Smart Energy Lab, and the smoke machine is going off. Lucky my smoke alarm's not working. Well. So lots going on here, and it's pretty exciting. So I've got a special guest today, and that's going to be, as you probably saw in the promo, Joel Greenbury from TrainingGate, and he's going to be talking to me about some really clever little software that they've developed to help with people learning about everything to do with solar, batteries, wind energy, microinverters, all sorts of stuff. But before I get it, bring Joel on, I just want to have a little chat to you about what's been happening. So it's pretty exciting. Last week was the Smart Energy Council's big gig, and it was good. We kind of spent a lot of time talking to people. Normally, I'm there with my team from Solar Plus, and we have a booth, and we normally set up and talk to people about our software, our Solar Plus software. But this time we decided to actually go and meet and greet, and that worked out really well. So I thought I'd show you some of the stuff that I saw while I was there, and I'm gonna kind of bring that up. Where are we? Just to give an idea of products that were available, and there was a whole range of stuff. I didn't get to see everything. Of course, I never do. There's usually about I don't know, 150 booths or something like that. But I get around a few and try and find out what's new and what's exciting. So first up, let's have a look here. And SIG Energy. So of course, you've probably heard about them already. They're making quite a lot of noise with their Sage and Store product, but they were releasing a whole bunch of new stuff, which was really pretty impressive. And some of that stuff was like their CNI products. So when you look at their product list, they've got now Sage and Stack. Sage and Stack can scale to hundreds of kilowatt hours per inverter, and the inverters come in sizes up to I think 125 kilowatts. Because of the scale, they actually have a separate inverter. It's not like a little unit on top like the Sage and Store, but you can do I think up to about 25 megawatt hours as a system. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Goodwe went and visited the Goodwe booth, and I should say, by the way, I've already recorded videos about all of these products I'm showing you now. So check out the channel Smart Energy Lab for the more in-depth interviews at the booths and about the products. So Goodwe have quite a range of products as usual. They were showing their big HT series up to 120 kilowatt. A three-phase inverter. They're also showing something that looked pretty nice, a fully all-in-one stackable system. So with 5 or 8 kilowatt hour battery modules stackable with I think a 5 and a 6 single-phase inverter on top, and I believe they're bringing out some bigger ones later on. It's really was the battle of the best. There were so many stackable systems there. Along the lines of stackable, of course, there's Pylon-Tech, who are well known in the Australian market, been around for a long time, and they had their Force H3X, and the X means it's got an inbuilt inverter. So the black bit on top is both the battery management and inbuilt inverter. They also had the CNI solutions and their utility scale. So Pylon-Tech covers the whole lot. In fact, we're installing a rather large Pylon-Tech system here at the Smart Energy Lab. We've got like 2.1 megawatt hours of power cubes, so that's going to be a bit of fun. Redback, the Australian favourite, being one of the first movers when it came to producing a all-in-one system for the Australian market. So Redback were there, and they were giving some previews of their three-phase and larger single-phase all-in-one systems. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Longi or Longi, I'm never quite sure how to say the name. People kind of say both. Uh, were showing their back contact modules uh, and their range of utility scale modules. So that was cool. Now, Pixie, I got a bit excited because I've known Pixie for a while now. Pixie make it's such a cute name, isn't it? Pixie. Yeah, but actually they make big stuff. In fact, one of the first, I think probably the first community battery in Victoria was in Fitzroy North, and it's a Pixie system. I think it's called a Power Shaper. But they released or previewed the Pixie Home. Now, it looks like a box, as you can see on the screen here, but it's what they've done inside. They have these modular 3.3 kilowatt. Now, you can't call them inverters because they're anything. They're an inverter or a rectifier or an MPPT. Whatever you do, it's just a dip switch setting. And so there's room for, in the standard configuration, 6 of their Pixie boxes, and the Pixie boxes can be configured in single or 3-phase. So the first release is one that's got 10 kilowatts of AC inverter power and 10 kilowatts of MPPT with 20 kilowatt hours of storage. But it's incredibly configurable. So if your home wants to become 3-phase, they can do it. If it wants to have more MPPTs and less kilowatts of power, it's just a matter of switching around the settings for the dip switches for the Pixie boxes. So that's Pixie. Now, who wasn't actually exhibiting, but actually had a side event that, look, I very unfortunately couldn't make it. I had a little bit of a medical issue and I had to kind of go and rest, but I was supposed to be there. So sorry, Anchor, is Anchor Solix X1. Now, I've already done a video on the X1 here on my channel. It's an all-in-one. It comes in both a hybrid and an AC coupled variant. Beautiful looking piece of kit. Each of the battery modules is 5 kilowatt hours, stackable to 3. So you get 15 kilowatt hours in one stack, and you can have multiple stacks to larger capacities. The thing itself is extremely narrow. It's, I think, only about 150 mils thick. So it's really fits very nicely into a garage and has that lovely display up the top. So there you go. That's a little bit about what happened at the conference. Now, oh boy, I just kind of pressed too many buttons there. You just got to see infinity for a moment. Wasn't that cool? Yeah, you got to see the world go on and on and on. So I'd like to introduce my guest, Joel Greenbury. Now, let's see if I can do this properly. I've got to bring him on. And here we go. G'day, Joel.
Hey Glenn, how you doing, mate? Can you hear me all right?
And we've lost your sound again. All right.
Yeah.
Did you mute yourself perchance?
I don't think I have.
It's funny. Every time I have one of these tech shows, I have my own little problems with switching. But I think I found the problem, Joel. It's me, not you, as
All
usual.
good. All good.
Yep, it's
Can you
all
hear me?
good. There we go. Gotcha.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. One of these days, there'll be a smooth transition. It seems that when I actually switch screens, it turns off your audio. For some reason, it wants to silence all comers.
All good,
Now,
mate.
yeah. So, Joel, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing. So, you're working for TrainingGate?
Yes. So TrainingGate's a company that I've created probably about 10 years ago now. Originally started in the electrical space, teaching and building curriculum for apprentices. So we would write this curriculum and release it out to a number of training organisations. And over the years, with my affiliation with certain manufacturers and my past being pretty closely related to solar and batteries, I really got into writing curriculum around uh, solar design and install, battery design and install, particularly in the accredited space. So TrainingGate, as a parent company, writes curriculum, releases curriculum. We have a number of guys that sort of work there that can work in the training space as well. So we lease out those trainers to do some of that training stuff as well. So multiple training organizations will lease us as a content curriculum provider and also as a training provider as well. So then from that time and effort that we put into delivering a lot of this training, we ultimately had a lot of engagement with learners, and the learners have been asking for something that they can take away, like a textbook. So we were looking at building a textbook, and ultimately, in the space of learning, we knew that a lot of electricians and tradespeople alike don't particularly read textbooks that much, and so we ended up moving into uh, looking at a video resource. So we, from that point, we created PocketPro, and PocketPro is like the textbook, the learning resource for the training that we do in the solar and battery space.
Cool. Just a little note. You're a little bit quiet. Are you a long way from your microphone?
I can
I
probably
can hear
bring the
you
microphone
okay.
a bit closer.
Yeah, it might be just a distance thing, but it's okay. I've actually got my partner monitoring the live stream remotely, and she just was going, "Oh, Glenn, there's a little bit of echo on Joel, but I think you've fixed it now because I pressed a few more buttons." So, if in doubt, just press every button on the console.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, just in case you kind of wonder what the setup here is, I've got a little overhead camera. Like there it is. It's kind of crazy, right? So there's a lot of screens for me to look at and a lot of buttons to press. So yeah, apologies if I sometimes make a glitch show. But anyway,
You're
back
doing
to
well,
me.
Glenn.
So so PocketPro. Look, I got pretty excited when you told me about the concept because as a trainer. I know how difficult it is for a lot of people to get access to good training information. They have to, go somewhere to do a course. And of course, you've been running those courses, which has been great. But sometimes you're on the job and you go, oh, bugger, what do I do here? Is that kind of what Pocket Pro's for?
Yeah, it is. It was.
Oops, muted again.
Sorry.
Is it you or me? Geez,
Hello.
seems to be a switch thing. It's
That's
probably
all
me.
right.
Hang on a tick. I just have to bring up my mixer.
You
I'll
got me
tell you what I'll
there,
do. I'll
Glenn?
stop pressing buttons, and that might make it all work
Okay.
if I stop pressing buttons. Okay, I think I've got you back.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. There.
Yep.
So yeah, on the job. So yeah, guys had come and approached us. We originally wanted it to be like a textbook, but yeah, guys have been accessing it on the job. It's evolving pretty quickly as most projects like this tend to do. But its initial concept was to be a textbook. Or a resource that could be taken away and then accessed outside of the proper accredited training side of things. With doing that, we've actually realized that a lot of people want access to something like that that takes say a complex or something that they might need to read and ultimately assimilate in some form or another. The the way that we've been able to do this in a more efficient format is to create videos, and we've got taken the whole curriculum and formatted into small 3 to 5 minute videos with professional voiceovers and animations that allows guys to really take in the concept and use images so that they can efficiently get that information that normally they would have to read and sort of visualize themselves. And sometimes guys find that to be a little bit hard to do so. So yeah, that's kind of the where we've seen it, and we've seen when we first launched in January, we had about 100 testers. They were utilizing it, and we got a lot of feedback up until recently, about 2 weeks ago, when we officially launched live on the web stores. And yeah, we're seeing guys utilize it out in the field, and not just electricians or tradespeople. We're actually seeing salespeople utilize the content. We're seeing like storemen utilize it, tech support over the phone from manufacturers, even from a higher level, sort of sales from business to business. Some of the wholesalers have jumped on board and started utilizing it. So we've actually seen a pretty crazy and really interesting growth with the use of this app, and I'm sure over the years it's going to continue to evolve into something that I didn't even consider today.
Cool. So I'm just popping myself on and off because I think
Okay.
the echo sometimes is related to me and not you. So I was just kind of giving you the full screen there. But yeah, going back to some questions here. What are the key features or modules that users find most valuable?
Yep. So we see users use the video resource side of it. So there's a couple of sides, and I'll run through them. The number one iteration of the app was a resource library of videos that follows the curriculum for accredited training that ultimately can be accessed um, outside of a training classroom. And so the video content is probably our number one feature. What we quickly realized in talking to a lot of manufacturers, so inverter manufacturers, panel manufacturers, and even industry groups and industry bodies have been chatting to us that they like the concept of it and they wanted to get some of their information to the users of the app as well. So what we ended up building into it during our testing phase was a tab that is actually labeled manufacturers, but I think we're going to quickly change that to partners, given that not everyone that's on there is a manufacturer. But where they can host some of their content, and that includes PDF data sheets for panels, inverters, cabling, racking, battery systems, as well as how-to videos. So for each manufacturer, a lot of them have some of their own content and often requires the user to either look for or search for a particular, I don't know, location on the web using a web browser, and sometimes that may not be an efficient way to get that information. It can be a bit tedious. So engaging with a lot of manufacturers, they love the concept. They want to get their information online onto the app, so where guys are ultimately using it from a textbook resource and then linking them in with the manufacturer. So those are the two key features there, which is the video resources and the manufacturers tab.
Right. Okay. So I guess you've got several avenues to getting PocketPro in front of people, through, like you say, through manufacturers, or people can just sign up directly. Now, we do actually have a little promo code to give away, don't we, for this channel?
Correct. Yes. If you go to the App Store, search for PocketPro and download the app, the first step is to register, and that's just email address and password. And you'll notice that it asks for a industry partner code. So for everyone listening, you could use the partner code SEL2025. That will give you.
SEL. Could that possibly be Smart Energy Lab?
It
acronym?
is abbreviated to yes, Smart Energy Lab 2025. When you log in, you'll see the Smart Energy Lab logo at the top. You can tap that, and you can actually go to a video resource section there for Smart Energy Lab and actually see all the well, not all. I've actually put one video up there at the moment, and with your permission, we'll put a lot more up there, so guys can access your content and then also move over and see some other content as well.
That's great. Thanks, Joel. Yes, another way to reach people. Yeah, so I've actually you had a little go playing with the app while we were at the conference with you, and yeah, I was impressed how easy it is, and the video production that you've done is really good. So you got some professionals involved.
Yeah, funny enough, one of the voiceover guys does the announcements for when you ride a train in Brisbane here. So, doors closing, please stand clear. Next stop is Peachtree Station. So a lot of guys in my area where I live in Brisbane have actually recognised the voice and goes, "That's the train guy." Yeah, so it's professionally done. We've had them professionally animated. You may pick a bit of a difference between some of the earlier videos and some of the later ones. They've gotten better as time goes on, but ultimately we've realised that even with some of the more average quality resources that have been built, the information is still there and it still delivers that information well.
So I think you said to me at the conference that you've made over 300 videos. Are they all in PocketPro?
Not at the moment. So they will be at the moment during the free trial. There's about 200 to 300 videos. I think it's closer to 270 odd videos that are available. What we're doing in the next couple of months is we're going to set up a subscription model, and that will come into play. And when that's released, and behind that subscription, we'll have access to around about 400 to 600, so 400 to begin with. And we're actually rolling out all our standalone power supply design and install video resources at the moment. So that will boost the number up to around about 600 videos.
Wow, 600 videos in your pocket. That's
They
pretty
haven't been done
awesome.
all at once. They've been done over a long period of time.
So let me just run through the categories of videos that you've produced.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, you run through.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So we've done the solar design and install. That ranges from perform site surveys to designing, so sizing arrays for an inverter, sizing an inverter for an application, then to installing the PV array to the inverter. So running through all the DC aspects of the PV array configuration, all the way up to the inverter, then from the inverter to the grid. So running through the AC sites. That's solar. We've done something similar for batteries, so a site survey for battery systems, designing a battery system for particular applications, sizing an inverter, sizing a battery, running through from the installation of a battery system to the inverter. Most of the time, that's very simple for some of the modern pieces of equipment that are out there. Nonetheless, it can be extremely complicated depending on the equipment and the application. But then ultimately, from the battery inverter to the switchboard to the grid as well. And likewise with the SAPS course, we've done a site survey for SAPS. So there's a whole other curriculum in there around load assessment, sizing. Sorry, not sizing. So in site assessment, it's doing a load assessment, determining power, energy, surge requirements of equipment, then moving into a design, having that information, so sizing batteries, PV arrays, inverters, and wind turbine, microhydro, and then to installing off-grid systems, so batteries to inverter, inverter to supply, PV array to inverter as well in that aspect. So there's a fair bit of content there. It does follow the national accredited training that's required of RTOs. But what we've sort of done in the app is made it searchable. So you can go to the search function, just type in something that you're after, and it'll list all the videos that relate to that sort of search feature.
So it's a bit of a study aid as well. Someone doing an SAA course, accreditation requirement, they might get stuck. And currently you see people popping up on Cutter's Facebook page asking, hey guys, what do I do for this? They could go to PocketPro and ask the question or search for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Use the search function. Try and be vague to begin with on the search function. We haven't narrowed it down to a perfect function yet, but you can type and be quite vague with it. It'll come up with a lot of content, and then you can sort of start to narrow it down a bit. But yeah, that's literally what you said there. A study aid is a great application for it as well.
Yeah, cool. So is there any plans for it to be part of a CPD program?
That question's come up quite a bit in recent conversations. Very, very. I'd love it to be. We've had conversations internally around doing that. At the moment, it's not. With a lot of CPD courses, requires a form of assessment. So the app itself doesn't do any assessment. It's just like a textbook. You can open the textbook and read it. And there's really no way to determine whether you've read a textbook. Same sort of way with the app, we can see that someone's logged in. We can't tell if they've done anything yet. So there has been discussions around it and potentially implementing something in the future around it. But yeah, the space is very rapidly evolving. We're pretty excited about where it can potentially lead.
So maybe integration with a learning management system at some point would give you the ability to have an assessment component But like you said, it's really a study aid first up, and on the job training, or even it's kicking back with a beer on a Friday night training.
Well, we actually saw an organisation utilise it as toolbox tools. There's an element of in there of work health and safety, so it covers everything from working at heights to crawling through ceiling spaces to working in remote locations, like if you're in a standalone, doing a standalone power system. And some of these guys in the mornings have loaded up a video. They've all sat there and watched it together. They have a quick discussion around it and then sort of move on, obviously logging what they discussed. But when we got that feedback, we're like, wow, that's quite a powerful tool in that regards too. So that's also added to our big backlog of things that we could implement. Is Toolbox talks around videos, certain videos, really short, 3-minute video, talk and conversation.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, how do people sign up for PocketPro?
So you can go to the app stores. You can go to the Apple store. You can go to the Android store. Just search for PocketPro. If it's not coming up, you can go to our website. We got links on the website to the Android store and the Apple store that it can take you directly to the app. And all we ask for is on a registration is put your email in, create a password, and then use a industry partner code. So for all the listeners here, please use SEL2025.
Right, SEL2025. I'll after the event, I'll put it in the description so people can use that that code. So I guess the word is get in soon with that code because you are looking at monetizing this going forward.
Yes. So there's a couple of big conversations that is happening at the moment. And once those have resolved, depending on what happens in that space, it'll either be subscription based or it might be free, depending on how those conversations roll.
All right. Okay. So you might have a sponsor who sort of a different model where the sponsors pay and the user has it for free. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I remember when Selectronic actually did something similar with their how to install their comms card. They actually had a little video that you could sort of watch, and you'd see a pair of hands actually, screwing the terminals in, which wire goes where, and it made me realize that a phone is, is a training aid for both, practical tasks like installing equipment as well as just learning new stuff. So, yeah, that's a great thing. And more and more people want visual aids. They're, reading a textbook. It's a bit old school, isn't it?
And some instruction manuals are just words. There's no pictures, so it's sometimes hard for them to assimilate it. So often we've gone to manufacturers, and I've worked for a couple of manufacturers in the past before too, and sort of said, look, make it as simple as possible, make the description, the display, whatever they need to install it, be it as clear, as clean, and have videos. Guys on the way to the job can watch a video and or be on the job and easily watch a video and scrub through and find what they need.
On that topic, have you found out what are the most popular videos?
Yeah, our most popular one at the moment is battery location. It's a really good video. It really just takes exactly from the standard and puts it into a bit of picture format, and someone's there sort of explaining it verbally. We've seen that utilized from installers across sales guys, across manufacturers have utilized it in explaining it, that concept of battery location to some of their clients as well.
So end users can benefit as well. Like clients can have a check to see where they could put a battery system.
Yeah. That's we're starting to see. It's not limited to just guys in the industry, so anyone can download it as long as they got that industry code at the moment, and they can get access to it and peruse through it. So just like a textbook, you can go and purchase a textbook from a distributor, and you could read it and ultimately gain that knowledge as well. So same with PocketPro. You don't have to be an electrician. You don't even have to be a salesperson, even if you're even working in the industry. You're just chasing some of that info. It's a go-to resource for that.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, so I think I mentioned this in an email to you that New Zealand hasn't had the battery standard regulated. In fact, their standards have been like 15 years out of date because they have to wait for the New Zealand electricity regs to be updated. But I just heard that royal assent has been given. It sounds so
Wow.
posh, doesn't it? To an update, or it must be to regulations being changed in the New Zealand Parliament, which means we're getting very close to New Zealand bringing forward all of the standards that have been published since 2010, which hopefully includes 5139, the battery standard. So can Kiwis use PocketPro?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, and I must apologise. I think a couple of times I didn't use the phrase NZS in some of the videos. That's my fault. I own that one. But yes, absolutely. Now that it's looking like it's all aligned, it is a perfect resource for them to utilise because they could ultimately learn and see how it all aligns with the standards, and even from a design perspective as well, they can go through and look at all the manual calculations. I know there's a lot of software tools out there which are excellent, but this just gives the underpinning knowledge that those software tools utilize.
Yeah. I mean, as a trainer myself, and I run a lot of courses, including over in New Zealand, I think I would find it an asset to be able to point students to PocketPro, particularly after doing a face-to-face course, because there's always more questions. And one of the things I think you get it too is that dreaded call, just one quick question, Glenn. And you've had the same one 20,000 times, and it's never one quick question.
Yep. You and me have both been there. I'm sure we're both on speed dial for a lot of people. I'm not. I don't have a photographic memory, so I can't remember a lot of stuff, even though I present a lot of it. So sometimes I do. Just give me a moment, and then I can reference something or have a quick look. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Is anything else you want to cover?
I think that's sort of it. We're just really trying to get it out there at the moment, given that it's free. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You just email address, create a password. It's free to download. The subscription side, if it comes into play, will be. Will I think we're going to create a link to it later on, so you'll get logged out, and then it will ask you to set up a subscription. So for the next, we believe it's about 2 months. It's going to be 100% free, as long as you've got an industry code. So use the industry code SEL2025, and you will get free access to the app.
That's great. All right. Well, you might get a little inrush after this video has gone out, and yeah, awesome. All the best. So thanks very much for coming on to Toolbox Tech Talk, Joel.
Thanks, Glenn. Glad to be here, and massive admirer of what you do, mate. So it's an absolute honour to be on here and talking to you.
Yeah, cool. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Glenn. Catch you.
See ya. Well, that was Joel Greenbury from TrainingGate talking about the wonderful PocketPro app. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm afraid today was a little bit shorter. I didn't actually have time to produce my usual show, which I do, but I've been at a conference all week, so I just haven't had much time. Next weekend, Toolbox Tech Talk may well be a pre-record actually, because I've got a conference here at the facility I live at, Muramura Co-op, and it's called the Australian Intentional Community Conference, and there's going to be a lot of people from who are interested in intentional communities coming to visit. So I'm kind of involved in giving some talks. So yeah, there will be something at 1 o'clock, whether it'll be live or a pre-record, but look forward to the next Toolbox Tech Talk on, I think it's the Sunday the 20th from memory. And yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Okay, see ya. I don't need to analyze every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Like if you gotta know the truth, it's gonna let you